Okay, so let's start with the dollar basket. Like I mentioned last week, I think it's good to look, just have a glance at the dollar index to see what it's doing, because most of the pairs have the US dollar as a denominator. So it's always useful to see what the US dollar is trying to do, and we can incorporate that into our analysis of other pairs like euro dollar, pound dollar, and so on. So let's take a look at the weekly chart first. Now, if you look at the weekly chart, uh, okay, you can see that the market is in a downtrend right now. It's in a downtrend, and there's if the market is consolidating this range, right, there is a possibility that it might consolidate all the way back down to 9400, which means dollar will be weak. Okay, if you look at the daily chart, okay, I had this channel drawn, I think about two or three webinars ago, and it is still valid. Okay, now key thing for dollar index is this level here, 9760 or so. Okay, if you zoom out a bit more, you can see that there are many touches: resistance, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, support with false breakout, resistance, and where we are right now. Okay, as long as we stay below this level, as long as we stay below the 9760 level, I'm more inclined to think that the dollar index might fall further. Okay, if it falls further, means that your euro dollar, your pound dollar, your Aussie dollar might rise. Okay, but it is a key level because it is consolidating in this channel for some time. We have broken out the channel. We have made a pullback to the key level at around 9760, and the market is trying to push it lower again. Okay, if it does, if the bears are successful in pushing it lower, we might head towards the 960 level, just about 74 pips away or so, before we see what happens. Okay, but the key line in the sand is 9760. Once again, if you are new to the webinar, I always mention levels, and you got to take note that the levels that mentioned is a range. It's not a specific price. Okay, because I'm looking at longer term charts like your daily and your weekly chart. So I'm always mentioning in terms of a range. Okay, so just take note. So the dollar index 9760 key level look out for, and if we are unable to break above that, I'm not surprised if the downtrend continues and we go to 9600 or even below. All right, this is dollar index. Now let me go to euro dollar. Okay, so this is the euro dollar right now. You can see that this 1.13 near 1.13 is resistance. It's still an uptrend, but can roughly tell that based on the divergence, the bearish divergence in the MACD, you can see this higher high, lower high, bearish divergence. So based on bearish divergence, I'm more inclined to think that the market is looking to consolidate now. And if you look at the 4-hour chart, you can see that it is consolidating. Okay, I'm not a big fan of trading euro dollar right now. Not much direction, especially this week. And if you look at consolidation, I'm not surprised if we start drifting back down to support at around the 1.1160 level. Okay, but it's pretty much sideways. The levels are not that defined, so I'm not really a big fan of looking at the euro dollar right now. Okay, so just take note of the key levels. Resistance at near the 1.1280 and support near the 1.1160 or so. Okay, it's for really sideways, not much. The key, one of the interesting pairs I'm looking at right now is pound cat. Okay, you can see that pound cat, and these are the kind of charts that I enjoy trading because it's very one directional. You can see that the daily chart, all right, looks bearish. Looks bearish. Okay, especially this drop. Just see a MACD. Yep, good convergence. Daily chart looks bearish. 4-hour chart looks bearish as well. Okay, and the 1-hour chart is bearish as well. All right. So all three charts are bearish. So I'm definitely looking for shorts. And if you look at the daily, the 4-hour chart, right, the MACD, all right, is very steeply pointing to the downside. All right. The question, of course, is how do you want to take a shot? How do you want to take a shot? Okay. There are a few levels I'm looking out for. Now, and you need to look at the daily chart to see where the potential resistance that it might drop from. Okay, one level is where we are right now, around the 16895 area. 16895 area. The other level that I'm looking at is around the 170 area. Okay, so these are two levels of resistance which I'm looking at that the market could potentially fall. Okay, so the first level is where we are right now. The next level, if we push higher, is around the 1700 level. Those are the two potential resistance, but I'm only looking to short because the market is pretty bearish. Okay, so look at all the charts. The daily, the 4 hour, sorry, change 4 hour. Okay, as well as the 1 hour. Everything looks bearish to me. Okay, the question is looking for levels to take a short from. Okay, Peter, sorry, you mentioned define can. Sorry, Peter, I don't really understand your question. What do you mean by? Yeah, what do you mean by define? Yeah, could you repeat? Could you? Yeah, I appreciate you can clarify. What do you mean by define? Okay, so these are the kind of markets that you want to look out for because the trend is definitely in your direction. Okay, the trend is in your direction, and the tricky part is finding key levels to get in from. Okay, right now most of the charts are still looking bearish. That's why I'm saying that the two key levels is where we are right now, or if it's going to break higher, anywhere near 1.7. All right, that's pound cat for you. Miss Kwan, Euro Aussie, sure. Let's have a look Euro Aussie then. Okay, now Euro Aussie, let's start with the daily chart. Zoom out a bit. Okay, so you can see daily chart that we have hit some form of strong level of support. All right, you can see multiple levels of resistance here, some support here, resistance here, support here. So it's a really key level. The level is around the 148 or so, 1.48 or so. Okay, so we are at the key support level. If you look at the 4-hour chart, okay, you can see the market has started the downtrend. Not surprisingly, this level has been respected. So it's made a lower low, lower high. It's still a key. It's still downtrending. It's still downtrending. Okay, but you need to take note that it's reacting off support already. Okay, and how do I know it's reacting is because even though that the market made a lower low, you see this swing here? Okay, the key level was this 14840, right? So even though the market made a lower low, okay, the bears could not sustain the move and the bulls took over and push it up back above the support. Okay, so it broke below and then broke back up. Okay, so I'm more inclined to think that there might be a bit of a fight here in terms of whether the bulls and bears, because the 4-hour chart, yes, is trending down, but then we are at the key level right now. Okay, let's take a look at the 1-hour chart. Okay, so you can see this can most probably considered a false breakout to the downside. So the low was around the 14840. Market broke downwards, but we have broken back above the key level. So for me, this is a false breakout. Okay, what you want to look out for is around this trend line here, 14880. Okay, this trend line plus the resistance at around 14875 to 14880. If we can break above that, high chance that, okay, high chance that the market is going to make a push at least back to the 149.40 or 50 area here. Okay, so high chance that the market is going to make a push to the next level of resistance around the 149.40, 149.50 or so. Whether it can make a new high, I'm not too sure. Okay, but it looks like this support near the 148 is a strong support. And there might be some bulls who are willing to take it up. All right, back to the 149.50 area. Okay, just because of this setup, see the false breakout, but the whole thing U-turn, broke back again, broke back into the consolidation. Okay, so I'm more inclined to think if it breaks the resistance at around 148.80 or so, we will go to the next level of resistance at around 149.50. Yep. So that's Euro Aussie for you. Kelvin is asking, what do you think the FOMC meeting will move the dollar? I have no idea, Kelvin. I don't really I know there's news coming out this Thursday morning 2 a.m. Singapore time, but I'm not I don't predict news anymore. Because I don't want to be biased. I don't want to be led by my bias. I would rather look at the markets and see how it react. I mean, like I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, this year or this 2 years especially, the way the market moves, the way the market reacts to news is very, very different from years ago. Okay, just when you think news will cause the dollar to rise, the market just sell off. So there's a lot of situation whereby it's buy the rumor, sell the news kind of a thing. So I'm more inclined to always look at the chart. So if you're asking me about dollar index, what I normally do is that I will pull out several dollar pairs. For example, dollar yen or euro dollar, pound dollar, Aussie dollar, and I'll see which pair will be the easiest move in terms of the momentum and the sentiment. Okay, so for example, let me see whether I can pull out any example here. So for example, if you look at pound dollar, right? Okay, if you look at pound dollar, just look at the daily chart. Okay, and then take a closer look at Aussie dollar. Okay, daily chart as well. Which one do you think looks more bearish to you, Aussie dollar or pound dollar? So repeat, so we look at the pound dollar daily chart and now looking at the Aussie dollar daily chart. Which one looks more bearish to you? Obviously the pound dollar, right? Because of course it was affected by the UK elections last week. So what I'll do is that if the FOMC news or speech is coming out, if the result of the FOMC meeting causes the US dollar to rally or to push higher, then most probably I'm more inclined to short the pound dollar, okay, because the pound is weak. So I repeat, if the FOMC causes the US dollar to rally, then I'm more inclined to short the pound dollar than the Aussie dollar because the pound is weak. You get what I mean? So the way I trade such news, that I would rather look at all the pairs that will be affected by it. And what I'm doing, I'm just pairing the strongest and the weakest based on the reaction of the US dollar. Yep, so it doesn't really matter what the results of the FOMC matter. I mean, whether they hike rates or not, or whether one of the members like Fisher says something or not, doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is what's moving in the charts. Okay, Calvin, hope I answered your question. Sunil, Euro Aussie. Okay, let's have a look at Euro Aussie again. Divergence on the daily chart. Let's see. Oh, you mean this higher high? So Sunil is asking whether the divergence on the daily chart has played itself out. So are you referring to this, Sunil? This higher high here and lower high here? If you're referring to this, yes, I think it has played itself out because we have hit the next level of support already. So you see how interesting divergence is. You can see that the daily chart of the Euro Aussie is making higher high, higher lows, right? But you can see the MACD is actually a lower high. See, high high, lower high. So it gives you an indication that, hey, you know, the bulls are a bit tired on Euro Aussie, and true enough, it starts coming down. So Sunil, they're asking whether divergence has played itself out. For me, the answer is yes. Okay, because if you look at the MACD, it's starting to make a new swing already. So once it's starting to make a new swing, means that the previous swing has already played itself out. Yep. Okay, so for example here, if you're looking at, hold on, yeah. If you're looking at this swing to this swing, see high high, but the MACD not the biggest bearish divergence because it's a double top. Once it form a new swing here, you can see that the MACD has played itself out already. Okay, then we're comparing the next swing here, see? So higher high, lower high. And then it's even a more obvious bearish divergence. You get what I mean? Okay, so that's Euro Aussie for you. Okay, let's see what's next. I also want to take, wait. Oh, sorry, you have another question, Sunil, sorry. The MACD is still showing lower low even though the price may be stalling. Yeah, the MACD is showing lower low. Price is, I mean, if you're comparing the swings, right, in terms of the lows, then yeah, this is lower low for sure. This is lower low as well. So there's actually a convergence actually. Yeah. So for me, I mean, the bearish divergence of MACD has played itself out. Right now, I'm just keen to see what happens at the support near the 148. I'm more inclined to think that we might make a push higher from here, at least back to the previous level here. Yep, I hope I answered your questions. Okay, so let's because the other pair that I want to bring your attention to is the Euro Yen, which looks quite similar to the Euro Aussie in the sense that the daily chart is on the uptrend, and right now we are stuck in this nice consolidation pattern. And if you zoom out, okay, I really like this support area around the 1, 2, 3 level because there's so much rubbish here. When I say rubbish, I mean there's so much resistance, and then turn support. So there's a lot of messiness here that might support the 1, 2, 3 level. Okay, so you can see the daily chart is making a form of consolidation, and there's a chance that we might make a pop up back to the resistance around the 125 level. Okay, this is Euro Yen. Looks quite similar to Euro Aussie. If you look at the 4-hour chart, okay, let me just delete some line. Okay, you can see that. I can see that this is a pretty decent support level around the 12263. So when I mentioned 123 just now, I'm basing on daily chart. That's why I say it's a range area. But if you zoom in a 4-hour chart, you notice that support is a bit more defined. And you can see the touches and things like that. Okay? So there's a chance that we might make a push as long as we stay above this support area 12260 or so. There's a chance that we might make a push back to the previous high. If any of you are buying from this level here, I think the first level of target would be around the 12450, and then you can look about around the 12520 or so. Okay, because it's just stuck in the big fat consolidation. So my trade plan is basically to trade the consolidation pattern and buy it near support, target here, that's it. Okay, right now looking at the chart, yeah, it looks a bit promising. I mean, the key level is here. This is a 1-hour chart. Right? If it breaks 12380, right, then there's every chance that we might make a push higher. Okay, 12380 is a very key level. It's a very key level. All right. Okay, that's Euro Yen for you. Let's see any other pairs. Okay, so the other pair that I'd like to take your attention to is Aussie Kiwi. So if you look at Aussie Kiwi, right, it is definitely in the downtrend. Okay, very significant lower low, lower high. And what I like about it is that the lower high level is quite significant because if I draw a line here, you can see the 105, 1.05, many touches, tried to break through, candle couldn't close above it. This candle respected 105. So this 105 is definitely a key resistance level. So daily is on a downtrend. Now on the 4-hour chart, you can see that it is still bearish, but you can see that it's a bit more consolidating. Okay, if you have taken a shot at 105 with a high stop, very good entry. Okay, good trade plan there. If you missed it, like I did, okay, the key level that you want to look out for is a break below the 104.35 or so. Okay, see this line here? Because if it breaks below it, right, there's a high chance that we might test the previous low of around 104. Okay, if you look at the daily chart, right, let me zoom out again. You can see that the key support level is anywhere around the 103.80 to 104. So there's still some room for it to drop another leg back to here. There's still some room. And what I like is that the daily moving average and the downtrend is still looking quite intact. There's no divergence, convergence. So I'm looking around the 103.80 to 104. There's still room to drop. But for that to happen, if you enter at 105, like mentioned, good trade. Okay, what you want to wait for if you have not entered is you want it to let it break the 104.35 or so and then join the right to the downside. Right, so that's another one that I like to highlight. So Aussie Kiwi and Pound Cat and Euro Yen. These three things that I like to highlight to bring to your attention. Pretty decent trade plans. Okay, so any other pairs that you'd like me to cover? Any others? If not, I'll move on to maybe I'll move on to build commodities and then I'll move on to Facebook. Mr. Tan, you're still around, right? Okay, let's have a quick look at gold. Quite interesting setup there. Let me delete some of the lines, it's not relevant anymore. Okay, now for me gold, you see 1300 is a very key resistance level. Okay, 1300. I think there are a lot of options, traders there that put a key level at 1300. And key support is around the 1260 area. Okay, 1260 area. What you can look for in gold is that you can draw some kind of trend line here. Yep. Right now, I would say gold is a bit more consolidating. Now, the key level, as I mentioned, is 1260. Now, if it breaks, right, then I'll be looking for it to come back down to support level here. Okay, it looks very bullish in May, the May period, but when it could not break 1300 again, right, I'm more inclined to think that it's going to consolidate. So the key level for me is around this. You see my two support levels here? If we are able to, if price is able to be supported here, then it might look to test 1300. If not, it's going to break down back to this trend line all the way to 124 or so. Okay, that's gold for you. Oh, okay, some FX pairs are coming up. Dollar yen, is it? Okay, let's see what dollar yen, sorry. I've not much direction on dollar yen right now, Sunil, to be honest, because if I zoom out, right, it looks really messy. Again, not much that I'm prepared to stay on the sidelines for dollar yen just for now. Okay, but you can see that the momentum is still slightly to the downside. Okay, slightly more towards the downside. Okay, so daily chart very much sideways to downside. 4-hour chart kind of ugly. Okay, kind of ugly. So the key thing I'm looking at is whether this swing is a higher low compared to this swing. Okay, because if I go back to the daily chart, let me zoom in a bit, yeah. It has been a downtrend for sure. Lower low, lower high, another lower high, another lower low, another lower high. Now, this is the key level, this swing I'm looking at, around the 109.50. Okay, this swing here. Because what I'm trying to establish is, oh my god, so many circles, sorry. Okay, what I'm trying to establish is, if this is a higher low, right, then most probably we are making another leg up. But right now, what I have for dollar yen is something like that on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so I'm going to be a bit more patient and see what it gives. Either this low gives, or it makes a new high and break above 105. Other than that, I'm not going to touch it for now because it's a bit of a mixed bag. Hopefully FOMC this week will shake it out a bit. Okay, but nothing much to do. There are other much better looking charts out there. Okay, Mr. Tan, what Sing you talking about? Dollar Sing? Dollar Sing. Okay, so dollar Sing still pretty much in the downtrend. Still pretty much the downtrend. Okay, but right now I think it's possible that the downtrend is a bit, the momentum is a bit waning already. Okay, you can see that there was a bullish divergence based on this higher low. Okay, and right now it seems to be moving sideways, even though it's still a bit more bearish. Now look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, you can see that it's a bit more consolidating. Key level to look out for is here 138.50. Support is 13800 also. Okay, so for next 1 week or so, I assume it's going to move sideways, consolidating. Because the market has been very bearish, I think it's going to move sideways for now. Of course, pending FOMC, but it's definitely more consolidating at the moment. Okay, just between 138.50 to 138, that's it. If it breaks above 138.50, then yes, it's a bit more bullish. If it breaks below 138, then we're looking at the continuation of the downtrend. But for now, it's pretty much sideways. Okay, momentum is still slightly towards the downside, but we'll see what happens. No trade plan for me as of now for dollar Sing. Same as dollar yen. Okay. All right, let's wrap it off with Facebook since Mr. Tan requests for it. It looks pretty similar to Nasdaq, isn't it? Let's take a look at the. Okay, it's a very clear bearish divergence that just happened. Oops, sorry. Okay, let me draw some support levels here. Okay, so Facebook on the daily chart is still an uptrend. Okay, there's a bearish divergence, which made me inclined to think that the uptrend might not continue upwards. Okay, now on the 4-hour chart, it looks a bit more bearish, basically based on this drop. Key level to look out for is either here or anywhere around here. Okay, this zone here is a potential area where the bears might come in to push it down again. So same analysis as the Nasdaq. On the 4-hour chart, there's a key resistance level around the 150 level that the bears might push it down again. Because if the bears were to start pushing down, I'm not surprised that we're just going to consolidate and this big fat consolidation and push it down back to the 14350 or so, where we were here. Okay, so you can see several resistance touches here, support here. I'm not surprised if we make it down here again. So the one around the 150 level, that's a key thing for Facebook for me. Okay, if it's unable to break, most probably we are pushing back down to the consolidation area. Okay, which means the same analysis for Nasdaq as well. All right. Any other last questions before I wrap up for the evening? All right, there's no other questions. Again, this webinar will be recorded. If you have any other questions, or feel free to email me. If not, I'll see you at the next webinar in 2 weeks' time. That will be the 27th of June. All right. So thank you so much for dropping by today's session. I hope you benefited from it. Always remember to plan a trade and trade the plan. Have a good night. Thank you.